YouTube? We are back with another recap. Today is Friday, March 13. Shout out to the girl, happy birthday. It's 9:54. Trading session is still going on. I hope she has a wonderful day. But let's get straight into the session. Coming into market open, well, I do want to say I'm just grateful to God. Back in February, I lost all my accounts. I had to take a 2-week hiatus, but I've come back. I feel like I've been really on my groove and my rhythm. Bump, shoulder fades, catch and shoot threes, being able to get downhill, being able to read the floor. Everything is looking good. Obviously, price action has still been tricky, and still got to come in every day and want to execute and make the right reads. But I feel like I've been in that mode. Once again, just shout out to God, grateful to God for the opportunity to know what I'm doing, for the wisdom, knowledge, and guidance. But let's get straight into the session. Coming into market open, I was a little bit bullish. I was a lot bullish. As we can see, we inverse this 1 hour bearish gap off. We inverse this 1 hour bearish gap coming into or during overnight session. And so seeing that plus this bullish reaction, I'm obviously thinking, okay, I could be looking for longs. We did end up sweeping out all our liquidity to the upside though. So it was like, if I am looking for longs, where will I be taking to? Potentially these New York AIM highs. We did sweep out our draws to the upside, as I just said. We swept out New York PM, Asia, and London coming into open, even before open actually. So it was like, I didn't really know how we'd get there, but if we are looking for longs, this New York AM is a play. Off of market open, there was a quick Judas I think people could have sniped. I didn't take it though. Okay, let me actually mute my desktop audio. Okay. There was a Judas that could have been taken off of this 1 hour gap. So I think there's where's the 1 minute gap at? Okay, we had this 1 minute gap right here. Right. We had this 1 minute bearish gap right here. And we ended up inversing it. This was a super clean trade. I didn't take it though, just because we have this 1 hour bullish gap below us. I didn't really like the volatility we were showing at this current time. And once again, I'm not usually trading before 8:45, but this would have been a super clean play, targeting this high, potentially this high right here. It was a nice play, no drawdown. I didn't take it though. Once again, I just didn't like it. And we also had red folder news at 9 a.m. So waiting till 9 a.m., what happened? We ended up putting in this 15-minute bullish gap, right? But at the same time that we put in this 15-minute gap, was that the 15 or is that the 5? I think that's the 5. Okay, we put in this 5-minute gap and then we put in the 15. But at the same time that we put in this 5 and 15, due to this bullish reaction, we ended up tapping into this 1 hour gap. Market is falling. Wow. We ended up tapping into this 1 hour gap. And so seeing that, I didn't know if I wanted to be taking longs out of here. We have this low right here. We had a bunch of LR stacked, which we did end up sweeping out off of this Judas, but we had this low right here. We have this 1 hour gap right here. And I wanted to see this 1 hour get drawn into after the fact that we tapped into this 1 hour bearish gap. So from there, once again, we had this 5-minute gap, and I'm looking at it and I'm waiting for it to inverse, but I think there was also a 15. I'm not going to mark with the 15. So we did end up inversing this 5-minute gap actually. And I wanted these shorts, and so I ended up taking shorts at 9:09 once we ended up inversing it. And there was also this 1 minute bullish gap as well that also added to my confluence to take this short. But the reason I didn't hold it was due to the fact that we ended up putting a SMT in with ES So as we could see, I'm on a whole different, so we're not even gonna be able to, where would it be at, was it right here? Okay, actually I could bring this one back now. Okay. So, I believe it was right here. Yeah, so right here we ended up putting in this SMT with ES. And so even though I did take this play, I ended up getting a break even. I went break even right as soon as we put in this SMT. But I did want us to come once again target and draw into this 1 hour gap that we have right here, because it's just an obvious draw. We've soaked out all our liquidity to the upside. If we were to continue higher, I would have needed a stronger displacement through this gap, or I would have even needed to see the 5/15 minute gap hold. And at 9:09, it was tricky because at 9:09, obviously the 5 minute is just about to close, and I don't think it closed. I don't think it inversed actually. I don't remember. But anyways, 1 minute bullish inverse, 5 minute coming out of the 5 minute bearish gap. I took this play, ended up putting a SMT in with ES. I automatically went break even. It was a good break even. I'm not mad at it. I did think we would have hit our lows off of this play right here, so I was kind of upset. But once again, just trying to be technical and mechanical with how I'm approaching market. Not forcing trades, not not trying to take what's not given. Understand me? So went break even, not mad at it. We ended up creating this 15-minute bullish, this 15-minute bearish gap now. And obviously y'all know I am a repeat offender of front running 1 minute gaps. But for some reason the past 2 days I didn't want to. I don't know if I'm being hesitant because I'm back on funded, or I don't know, but we had a clean play right here. So we ended up tapping into this 15, held it perfectly. Obviously we did wick a little bit above it, not too much to really cause me any concern. I really liked our draws to the downside. Even though we did put in this SMT, I liked the bearish order flow that we were showing coming out of this 1 hour bearish gap. So 15-minute bearish tap now, 1 minute bearish tap, and now it's essentially the same play, but it's once again another continuation model. Continuation, pullback, that's what you learn in trading 101. You learn that in 5th grade. So we ended up inversing this bullish gap, but I didn't get in off this gap. Once again, I did not want to front run it. If I front ran this gap, it would have been a perfect entry. I'm not gonna say that, but I would have been super happy with my entry. But I didn't front run it for some reason. I don't know if I'm being hesitant once again. And we ended up, what's it called? We ended up creating a 60-point candle, or like 50-point candle. And so right here I was at a dilemma because I missed the first play, right? I missed the first play coming out of this gap. Essentially, I wanted this right here, front running this gap, and obviously flushing to our draws that we had right here. That's what I wanted. But I missed that entry, and so the only possible entry to really get involved in this market that is now sold off is to just getting off the pullback. And that is a little risky just due to the fact that I don't know how far this market wants to pull back. We did end up creating this 1 minute bearish gap, and so on this candle we created a 45-point candle, and we ended up creating a bullish candle which equaled it, about the same size. And so I took my chance, and 673.75. I took my chance and I got in off this pullback. Now obviously I am risking a worse, I'm putting myself at risk to get stopped out, because essentially if I caught my original play, it would have been a better RR with my stops above here. But now that I got such a bad entry, or not the entry I wanted, I would have potentially had to have had a 50-point stop. But I did have my stop as a 40-point stop above this bullish inverse. I didn't expect us to come back and tag into this 15-minute gap, just due to the reaction that we're showing coming out of it and the displacement that we're showing. So once again, I took a stab. Really nice entry. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit of luck factored in because we could have just reversed off of it or could have been in hella drawdown, which is obviously not what you want. But we got a super clean entry, no drawdown, and we take a 620. I think it was about 50 points. So we take a 53-point win. Obviously not. I don't really care to force anything. I'm trying to get a. I was close to a max winning day, but I'll show y'all PNL. Bro, I never typed that in right. Holy. So I did end up passing my last eval, my second eval, and I made 1,000 on my funded. So I am about 2,000 away from getting paid. I should do that. I should be able to get paid out next week. Did pass the funded. I'll start trading the funded with this funded starting Monday. I think that's pretty much it. We did end up. The reason I closed early was because, for me, a max winning day is 1,600. I made 1,000. I'm not really pressed. Once again, I'll talk about that later, but I'm not pressed to make a max winning day, but I just need to keep that in mind that that's the max I can make. Obviously we did end up hitting our 1 hour unfilled, right? So I could have potentially held it, but once again, I'm not trying to be greedy. On Tuesday, I believe I had, what was the day? Okay, yeah, March 10. Okay, yeah, that was Tuesday. On Tuesday, these two plays right here each made 1,000 net, but I got stopped at break even because I was trying to get a max day, and so I'm just trying to remind myself I don't need that. I think I even put it in the notes for that day. First two trades net 1K in profit. You need to take that. Note to self: don't need a max one day. Just take what is given. Don't leave one on the table, right? So 1,600 in a band, $600 difference. I don't care for that. But yeah, so I wasn't really pressed. Obviously today was a winning day. Shout out to God. I think I went 5 for 5 on my funded. 5 for 5 on the week. First winning week. Second winning week because last week was a winning week. So I'm 2 winning weeks under my belt coming into March. Just bought these two fundeds on March 2nd. So, really good what's it called? Pace streak we're on right now. Once again, super grateful. Hope y'all boys caught a dub. Why not us, man? Keep grinding. Man, market is selling off. Yeah, shout out to God, bro.